Hey VC, this is Ron. Thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. I thought about slacking off this weekend and not really doing a video, but I went over to the record store that recently opened up here in Phoenix, and somebody brought in a ton of 45s. They had like some big tables set up with probably a couple of thousand singles, and so I've been busy looking through those. I mean, at $1.50 a record, your choice. I didn't pull out like a ton, but you know, I pulled out a pretty good stack, and so I wanted to show those to you. But before I get to that, I wanted to show this album that I just picked up. It's Os Mutants. They were out of Brazil. They're a highly respected psych band, and I showed their first and second album on an earlier video that I made. And I think this was just recently released. I don't know how official it is. It looks kind of sketchy. But if it is unofficial, they did a really good job of it. It's basically a rarities LP of tracks between 65 and 68. There's singles, rarities, and outtakes. A lot of things that have never before been released, a lot of things that never been released on vinyl, and just general rarities. And I was not disappointed in this at all. The sound quality is awesome on most tracks. There's probably a few outtakes in here that sound a little bit muddy compared to the other stuff, but overall it's really cool. And there's some psychedelic Shell oil commercials that the band did. I think there's about 5 of those. Short little radio, just short little radio things that they did, but really cool. So search it out. It's called The Sixth Finger. Okay, matter of fact, that's what's playing right now. So I'm gonna let this continue to play throughout my video, so you can get a little taste of it. Okay, now I'm gonna break away and go over to the bar, and I'm gonna do a handheld showing of the singles. So let's get going on that. Alright, here's the pile that I got. I don't know, maybe 20 singles or something like that, about that. This is the first one, and it's actually Paul McCartney and Wings. It's like a Linda McCartney record though. And it's Susie and the Red Stripes, and it came out in 1977. And it's kind of a reggae pop record, and the flip side is B-side to the C-side. And if I remember right, Red Stripe is a beer in Australia, but I heard that probably back in the 80s, so don't quote me on that, but I think that's true. Pretty cool record. Got near mint for $1.50 with the epic sleeve. Can't beat it. And I wish it had been promo, because the promos are on red vinyl. There's actually quite a few different issues of that, but this is the most common one. This is Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues, and She Belongs to Me on the flip. Just mint minus condition. I mean, $1.50. Here's a Chuck Berry single from 1964, Promised Land, real clean. And the flip side is Things I Used to Do. A lot of these are going to be near mint condition. There's a few of them that are sort of VG+, but this is the First Illusion single, Did I See Her Eyes? And the flip side is Falling in Love, which is sort of a pop love ballad, and that song is not on the album. This is from their first album, and this is actually a mono mix, and it's an edited single version. The version on the album is actually quite longer, and this has a pretty cool label for Steed. The album labels look nothing like that, so that's kind of a unique label when you compare it to what the album has. This next one is the Yellow Balloon, and The song is Yellow Balloon, and this is cool to have because on the flip side it has the Yellow Balloon song. The complete song is in reverse, so that's pretty cool. This is a non-album Trogs single, real lightweight pop cuts. Both of these were not on any album, and I had two different pressings of this, and both of these just sounded terrible. I think just the way it was mastered, I think it just sounds muddy and distorted, and this is like in near mint condition. It just sounds hideous. This is another Trogs single that I got from 1970, and this is another lightweight pop tune, as well as the B-side, non-album tracks there. And this is a Status Quo original UK single on Pi. Real cool. This is actually the B-side, and it's sort of it's in the style of the earlier Status Quo, you know, UK pop site, with some cool heavy fuzz guitar on it. Real cool single. And this side is a little more towards the boogie rock style that they would embrace during the 70s. But this is like their first single of the 70s. It came out in 1970, and that's real clean. So that was a smoking deal on that. And this is a National Lampoon single that's from Radio TV Dinner, and I didn't know that they had put out any 45s. And this has got the Bob Dylan spoof on it, where he talks about, you know, it's like kind of like a radio TV commercial, you know, get all the hits, and you know, you'll thrill to Janician, and you'll get all the acid tracks like, you know, Vanilla Fudge and Blue Cheer, and you know, that kind of thing. It's just hilarious. And Christopher Guest did the impersonation of Bob Dylan. He's a pretty famous actor. He's married to Jamie Lee Curtis, and he was also part of Spinal Tap. So this is an early thing by him. I think this record is from '72. This is the Hombres, and this is the Prodigal, and this is a non-album track. The Hombres were going to put out a second album, and it got canceled, and I think this is a track that was going to be on that album. And this is just a real lightweight pop ballad, nothing special at all. But I was kind of disappointed in it, and that track right there, that's off the first album. And this single's from '67. And they had one other single after that one that was probably going to be on that second album. And this is an interesting Alice Cooper single that I got. And I think what it is, it's in the 70s they had jukeboxes that used small spindle holes. And I think that's what this is. It's a jukebox single, because the catalog number is nothing like the regular single that they had with the big hole. It's just totally different. So I'm really thinking that this is probably for a jukebox. And Hard-Hearted Alice is on the flip, and this is from the Muscle of Love album. Okay, this is the Venus by the Shocking Blue, and the flip side is Hot Sand. I never heard Hot Sand before. In fact, I've never heard their album. I need to get it. But this is a really cool track. It's got sitar and heavy fuzz on it. Real cool record. And this is a later, I showed a Toad Hall album earlier from '68, and this is a non-album track that they released a few years later in '71. And it's not very good. It's a promo. It's got the same thing on each side. And it's kind of like the Fugs, Ed Sanders style stuff. This is a real cool Birds single that I got there. This was a little more. This was like $6, but it's in excellent near mint condition with the record. And it was a school scholastic services single. I remembered the programming when I was in grammar school, and basically they would give you a booklet of books that you could buy through your parents, and sometimes they would have records. And that's what this is. It was sold through the school program, and it was never available in the stores as far as I know. So I'm real happy to get this. Really nice picture sleeve with that. And here's a US copy of Joined Together by The Who, non-album, and it's got the flip side is Baby Don't You Do It. Here's a pretty rare Easy Beat single. It's on Rare Earth. They only had one single on Rare Earth. They were going to put out an album in 1970, but it got canceled. So I think these are tracks that would have been on that album. St. Louis is good, but the lyrics are not all that good. I like the B-side a little bit more. Can't Find Love. That's a good little rocker. Both of those have a little heavier sound for them. Here's Badge by The Cream. Real cool, clean copy. Does have a drill hole. Interesting thing about this, it has mono mixes of Badge and What a Bring Down. So that's real cool. And you'll notice on Badge it only lists Eric Clapton as being the writer, whereas on the album it lists Eric Clapton and George Harrison. And George Harrison does play on rhythm guitar on that song. And finally we have the Jimmy Castor Bunch, Troglodyte, Caveman. I remember this record when I was a kid. You know, Bertha Butt, one of the Butt sisters. Really cool record here, and clean as a whistle, and I was really happy to get that. So, alright guys, that does it, and catch me next time. Adios!